Hare Krishna. So today we are discussing about the festivals which are known also as Namitika Seva. Nitya Seva is the daily Seva. And then we have Nitya, daily Seva, morning till evening for the deities. And then we have Namitika Seva, the Seva which is occasionally performed, so the different festivals. So Prabhupada had mentioned that actually in Vrindavan every day is a festival. In Krishna's pastimes every day is like a festival. And and worship the deities, so it also becomes like a festival for those who are absorbed in Krishna consciousness in the service of the Lord. But then specific festivals are there which we have to observe, as mentioned in our Vaishnav calendar. And so we are here in Sri Vrindavan Dham, most holy of all holy places, most auspicious time, the month of Kartik. And we are here to, of course, conclude almost today and tomorrow the seminar, and so concluding also the Kartik Vrat, Niyam Vrat, or Bhishma Panchak, Chaturmas Vrat. So everything is ending actually tomorrow. And so various ways it can be followed, these different vrats. And so also in regards to the deities, so doing Chaturmas in many places, they have extra seva, and especially during the month of Kartik. And Prabhupada here told, and it is the tradition amongst the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, amongst the Vaishnavas in general, those who are following the Vedic literatures, the scriptures, and specifically the Vaishnav scriptures. And there it is mentioned that during the month of Kartik, so we are supposed to offer every day one ghee lamp to the Lord. While chanting the Damodar Ashtakam prayers by Satyavata Muni, one great sage. Of course, the pujaris every day they are offering ghee lamp, at least in the morning, maybe also in the evening. But then during this Kartik Vrat, so one extra lamp is offered for the pleasure of the Lord. And so today we are going to observe the Adems Puja after a little while. So this puja is performed the day before a festival. Just like tomorrow, last day of Kartik, Ras Purnima, Krishna performed Ras Leela. Purnima Titi, which is considered to be an auspicious day. Prabhupada has mentioned actually 3 auspicious days or titis. Ekadashi Titi, and then Amavasya Titi and Purnima Titi. So 2 times a month we have Ekadashi, and we are fasting from grains and beans, and we are chanting more. And then we may do Vrindavan Parikrama or Govardhan Parikrama. Similarly, we can see in Braj, in Vrindavan, and Govardhan, that also Namavasya and Purnima Titi, they will do Parikrama of Vrindavan, of Giriraj. In Vrindavan mostly they do an Ekadashi, but also on Amavasya and Purnima. And then in Govardhan especially they will, of course every day, some devotees are doing Parikrama of Vrindavan or Govardhan. But then specifically on Govardhan, on Purnima Titi, the full moon day and night, there are hundreds and thousands of people doing Parikrama. It is even becoming difficult to go there, and sometimes. So very auspicious time. And last day of Kartik, last day of Chaturmas, Bhishma Panchak. And so last year, actually on this day, Radhika Keshav Roy, Radha Krishna deities from they came here, and then we had an Abhishek. So, and that festival is actually known as Brahmotsava, when the deities are installed, and when you start, when you're beginning the worship of the deities. That is known as Brahmotsava. And that is practically the most important festival. Of course, we have Janmashtami, Radhashtami, Gopurnima. These are all very important festivals, especially in Vrindavan, in Braj. Janmashtami, Krishna's appearance day is celebrated. Very important. But Brahmotsava is the day when the deities are installed. Just like on Ram Navami, our temple was established and deities were installed. At the same time, Gonita, Krishna Balaram, and Sisi Radha Shama Sundar. So that day is very special. It is because then we have Gonita installed, Krishna Balaram and Radha Krishna, Radha Shama Sundar. It is like Nityananda Toiroshi, Gopurnima, Balaram Purnima, Janmashtami, Radhashtami, Lalita Shashti, all these days together, they are there in one day, the day of Brahmotsava. So therefore, that is becoming actually, that is the grand festival of the temple. And even here, for example, the day before we have also Shobhayatra, we bring the deities on a palanquin and going around the temple, the campus, or then even going to MVT. And before, even we were bringing out the deities in town, but now we're not doing anymore because it is always so crowded, so it is a little difficult. So also, for example, after 10 years or after 20 or 25, so it is auspicious, and when the numbers are like that, 5, 10, 15, there is or especially 25 silver jubilee, then there's a festival usually for more than just 1 or 2 days. Every day we have for 2 days a festival, but on these days, then we have even 3, 4 or 5 days festival for the pleasure of the Lord. Like for the 25th anniversary we had 5-day festival. Even 4 years ago, for the 40th anniversary, we had 5-day festival. And so one of them is the Adems Puja, on which we will do today also for tomorrow's program of bathing the deities, so that you will see how it is done. Auspicious articles are shown to the deities and to a Mangal Ghat, to a pot, in which you put a coconut on that and some leaves of the Ashok tree, and some grass, and we put some items inside, akshat, rice and turmeric, some tulsi leaves, some flour, and that is shown to this Mangal Ghat, auspicious pot, and then to the person who is sponsoring the festival. So that is to invoke the blessings of Guru Gauranga Krishna, because at that time also Guru Gauranga Krishna are shown respect, and little artik is offered for the pleasure of the Lord, and bhoga is offered, and then prasadam is distributed. And whenever there's a festival, of course in our sampradaya, then the holy names are chanted, the Maha Mantra, there's kirtan going on. So that is part of the festival. Of course, here in our temple we have already kirtan all the time, 24-hour kirtan. Throughout the year, every day, we have 24-hour kirtan. But then during this Adems Puja, if you do in the temple, then we have a special bhajan also, Adems Puja. Kirtan is there. And so then everything becomes very auspicious and wonderful, and the temple, the altar is nicely decorated with flowers. So, as explained before also, that it is the duty of the devotees, of all the temple devotees, to observe these festivals. It is a regulative principle. It is one anga, one limb of devotional service, as explained by Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Devotion. There are 64 limbs of devotional service. So one of them is to observe the festivals like Janmashtami, Radhashtami, Gopurnima, and so on. And if one is not observing, if you have deities of Radha Krishna and you don't have a nice Janmashtami festival, then it is an offense. Offense due to lack of endeavor or even respect. And faith means you don't have full faith that Supreme Lord is there, and that so you're not showing enough respect, and you're not endeavoring. So that will then, of course, then some reaction is there if one is doing some offense, aparad, because the Lord will not be pleased. So various festivals are there. So the most important, that is Brahmotsava, when the deities were installed, when the worship has begun of the deities. On that day, also usually the deities have a new dress, and new dress is offered to the deities. And the special abhishek is there, elaborate abhishek, with Panchagavya, Panchamrit, 5 items from the cow, which are auspicious. The cow is pure, and everything from the cow is pure and auspicious. Panchagavya, 5 items from the cow. Milk, yogurt, ghee, then cow urine and cow dung. So usually the urine or the stool of even of any other animal is completely impure, even of the human being, even of the brahmanas. So that is not pure. All the brahmanas are supposed to be pure, or the Vaishnava, but the urine and stool is impure. So, of course, some exceptions are there, like the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he comes, or the expansions like Rishabdev. And it is mentioned that sometimes he was passing urine and stool, and there was a nice fragrance when he was passing, the Supreme Lord, so that is different. But otherwise anybody else, of course even a pure devotee, usually because they are pure in consciousness, in their eating and everything, so usually there will not be a bad odor, or much less, so that is there. But otherwise it is considered impure. But the cow, any cow, when the cow is passing urine and stool, so that is pure. And so that is used for the abhishek of the Lord. The Lord is bathed. Of course not a big amount of cow urine, because afterwards otherwise it is difficult to drink, but a small amount. And even cow dung. Even at Krishna's times it was done. And therefore, on the appearance day of Krishna, there is abhishek of Panchagavya, and then Panchamrit. Abhishek is there. And of course even you can use the cow urine, it is proven, it is medicinal. One has liver problems, one can take that. And cow dung is used for cooking and even making incense. So these auspicious items from the cow, they are used for the abhishek. And then Panchamrit, 5 kinds of nectar, milk, yogurt, again ghee, and then some honey, and then gur water. That is used for the abhishek. And then as we discussed, the welcome is there. So that is, of course, before the abhishek is the welcome. And usually that is also more elaborate. When you welcome the Lord during the Abhishek, you offer some incense and a ghee lamp. Sometimes there's one special lamp offered that is known as Pishta Deep. Pishta, that means it is made with atta, with the flour, which is mixed with water. It is just like when you make chapati dough. So use that, or puri dough, and then you make a kind of diya, in which you put the ghee wick, and you have usually 3 or 5 or 7 or 9 or 11, and that is offered. And then during the Mahabhishek, we offer dry fruit garlands to the Lord, 2, 3, or usually, or even more, 8. It's considered auspicious. Dry fruit garlands are offered to the deities. And then the bathing is there, Panchagavya, Panchamrit. And then, even then you have special water, different waters are there. One is rose water. And then you may have, of course, Ganga or Yamuna water from the holy rivers. And then you have water in which you put some auspicious herbs, Maha Aushadhi or Sarva Aushadhi, different Aushadhiya, different herbs, auspicious herbs are mixed together in the water, and then the deities are bathed with there. Or Navaratna Abhishek, you have the 9 auspicious, valuable stones like the ruby, diamond, lapis lazuli, sapphire, and so on. They are put in the water, and the deities are bathed with that water.
So it changes the color of the water also.
If it is changing the water of the color?
Color of the water.
Yeah. Well, if you put the different herbs inside, the color is changed. Sometimes even they have colored water also. They put different colors, and they use sesame seeds or sesame paste, and they put that in the water also. And then sometimes fruit juices or simply the fruits in the water, and then Abhishek is done. Yes.
Can we use Ganga Jal?
Yeah, of course you can use Ganga Jal. Yes.
Because Ganga is coming from the lotus feet of Lord.
Yes. No problem. But Ganga is a pure river, holy river. It's coming from the Lord, but you can offer to the Lord. No problem. The Lord is taking bath in the Jamuna, and Mahaprabhu in the Ganges river, in Ganga river. So that is used, that is auspicious. And after the Abhishek, of course, we dry the deities, and then a new outfit is offered to the deities on his appearance day. That is required, that must be there. And if you can offer new jewelry, that is nice also, on the appearance day of the Lord. That will give pleasure to the Lord. Although he is Aptakam, Atmaram, he is fully satisfied, the Supreme Lord. At the same time, when the devotees are serving and they're offering something to Krishna, then Krishna will feel so much transcendental happiness, and then he will reciprocate. So the more the devotees surrender to Krishna, the more he is pure, then the more the Lord is pleased, and there's a reciprocation there. So, and the festivals, they have to be performed and they have to be followed. And usually on the festival days, like appearance day of the Lord, we fast till the time that the personality of God had appeared. Like Krishna, he appeared night time. Therefore, the devotees are fasting till night time. Some are doing niyajal, they're not taking anything, not even any water. But if not, you can take water. If somebody is old, somebody is sick, pregnant woman, they may take some fruits, some milk also. There's no harm. So that they can, so they are able to also chant and and read or do some seva. So, Brahmotsava is there, the most important day, and then if you go through the calendar, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, so we have Go Purnima, which we observe, and fasting till evening. And on that day, the Lord should be glorified. We should hear about the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His wonderful qualities and His instructions which He has given. So we should hear about that. We should meditate on that. And pray to the Lord to bestow His blessings upon us so we can advance in spiritual life. So that is the regulative principles which is giving pleasure to the Lord, and the devotees also will be pleased then when the Lord is pleased. So all appearance day of the deities who are residing in a temple, they have to be observed. But then even others, like when we have the appearance day of Ramachandra, even though we don't have deities, but then at least one should glorify Ramchandra on that day. Or you may have a photo and put a garland at least to the photo of the Lord. And Nishingadev's appearance day should be observed. If you have a deity, then you can bathe the deity. Otherwise, at least glorify the wonderful activities of Nishingadev. And then we have an important festival in summertime, that is Chandan Yatra. So applying chandan, sandalwood paste, on the transcendental form of the Lord in the summer when it is very hot, for the pleasure of the Lord. That is once, one day a year at least, but many times it is done for 21 days. Like even here we do in our temple for the small deities, not the big deities. The big deities only once a day, once in a year, one day. But the small deities we do for 21 days. We apply chandan to the small deities. So Prabhupada has mentioned in the Vaishnava calendar all these different festivals, so we should try to follow as much as possible all the festivals which Prabhupada has mentioned. And even Prabhupada actually mentioned that there are various festivals, like in Braj traditionally, or even in Mayapur, and Prabhupada had told that we should try to follow as much as possible these festivals. According to the different pastimes of the Lord also. And then we have Julan festival, swing festival, which is very pleasing to Krishna and Radharani. And that is just before Balaram Purnima for 5 days. Julan Yatra is there. So the deities are brought, Yotsav Murti, the small deities are brought on a swing. And the devotees have the opportunity to swing, the deities. So in this way do some direct seva to the deities. And in Braj, so in the local temples there are many festivals, and Prabhupada actually encouraged the devotees to try to follow also some of these festivals. After Balaram Purnima, and then the next day after that, they have in Vrindavan, all the temples, they have a special vesh, a special dress for the deities. And different temples, they have different dresses. Like a few days ago on Gopashtami, you must have all seen, there is a Radharani in Subal vesh, according to the pastime of one time Krishna feeling separation, and then Subal, his very dear friend, told him, don't worry, I will help you out. I will bring Radharani. And he went to Javat, where Radharani was, and he told her, Jatil and Kutil, the mother and sister-in-law, that my calf came here somehow, I heard, and went to your Goshala, I would like to take it back. And they said, yes, of course, as he was there. And he then, but before that, before taking the calf, he quickly went to Radharani's place and her room and told her that Krishna is feeling separation from you and you should come and relieve him of his suffering of separation. Transcendental suffering is there. And then she said, how I can go? Mother and sister-in-law are there and they are keeping a watch on me. Then he said, you take my vesh, my dhoti, and my chadar, Subal vesh, and which she did, and then she was able to go and meet Krishna, so that even in local temples they have in after Balaram Purnima and also in Gopashtami, in Radha Damodar temple they have this Subal vesh. So, and in one temple, Madan Mohan temple, Prabhupada has mentioned in one letter that to one devotee, that this festival, Rai Raj, Rai means Srimati Radharani, one name of Radharani is Rai. Rai Raj, Rai Srimati Radharani decorated as a king. So you can even now, you can see every year in Madan Mohan temple, the day after Balaram Purnima. So you can see in the Madan Mohan temple, Radharani is there, dressed up with the dhoti and kurta and chadar, royal dress, and also crown, just like a king. And then, so that time also you can see her lotus feet, Radharani's lotus feet. And Krishna is there, and is there as a chokidar, as a watchman. And they gave him one sword also in the hand. He's there just watching, he's the chokidar of the king of Braj. Radharani dressed up as a king. And the pastime is there, one of the pastimes. So of course she's the queen of Vrindavan, but so sometimes she's disguised like that. And on the other hand, also Krishna sometimes is disguised when Krishna has done something wrong, transcendentally, not going to meet Radharani at the proper time, and he got sidetracked by going to Chandravali, and then he's late, and then he has to do something because Radharani is very angry man, transcendental anger. And if Krishna does a little mistake, then Radharani's anger is a little anger. And then to break that anger, Krishna has to do something little. Just like one time, he spoke to Radharani, oh, Chandravali, your face is very beautiful. So, of course, Chandravali means a row of moons. And so may also be, Radharani may be addressed as such, but of course Radharani and Krishna, so somehow instead of saying Radha, he said Chandravali, and then Radharani was angry at him. Not very, very angry, but she was angry at him. And then, so man is there, okay, what are you saying? You go away from here. Go to your Chandravali if you like her so much. Don't be here, go away from here. And then Krishna so realizes his transcendental mistake by Yoga Maya. Sometimes he does something wrong. And then with sweet words he's begging actually forgiveness from Srimati Radharani. And then, of course, mostly then she's excusing him. But if he does a big mistake, then he has to almost break his head of what to do now to break the man. And then sometimes he's disguised as a female doctor or female Malini, flower garland maker, female, and so dressed up as a gopi in order that he can go near Rani again. And so there is different pastimes are there, and accordingly also in the Leelas. So this in the seva to the deities, sometimes these are shown. So in the temples they do that, in the 7 temples. Saptadeva Loy, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the main temples, Madan Mohan, Govindadev, Gopinath, Damodar, Radharaman, Radha Gokulananda. So in these temples they have these different festivals. So Prabhupada actually said we should try to introduce this in our temple. So, so we try sometimes also to have some of these festivals. So that is giving pleasure to the Lord, and that is then also when the Lord is pleased, then we will also be pleased, or will be satisfied, experiencing transcendental happiness. And usually on these festival days, so because we have to fast also, then we have more seva, we are completely absorbed in the seva. And then no time for Facebook, WhatsApp, internet, and prajalpa, unnecessary talk. And then not naturally you will feel more blissful when you're absorbed in the service to Krishna. So therefore we should have more and more festivals. Every day should be a festival. So then there is no room for Maya. So Kartik is there, an important festival, and during Kartik we have, of course, Ras Leela is there, and the night time, usually it is the tradition, the first day of Kartik, when Ras Leela is there, the devotees, they make sweet rice and offer to the deities, a big pot of sweet rice. And then the next day, all the devotees are able to relish the Mahaprasad. And on the last day of Kartik, again, sweet rice is offered, so that will be tomorrow. And if you are very fortunate, if you are still here, day after tomorrow in the morning, after Guru Puja, then you will be able to get some sweet rice. And during the month of Kartik, Diwali is there, which is an important festival. And tradition of those worshipping the Supreme Lord, Ramchandra Bhagavan. So that is the day when he came back to Ayodhya, and in order to welcome him, then they were offering thousands and thousands of these ghee lamps. And there was also a video just recently, there was a new record, there are 500,000 ghee lamps they were lighting. Practically at the same time. So even they gave it to the Guinness Book of World Records. So 500,000 ghee lamps they're offering just this year in Ayodhya for Diwali. And even Krishna's time, actually, so the Brijbasis, they were observing Diwali and they were lighting the ghee lamps. And then of course there's always some fun is there, some, especially for the children. They play and they get some nice sweets, prasadam. And actually on that day the Damodar Leela actually happened, transpired that day. During the day actually it was. So in that remembrance, in the whole month we were worshipping Damodar. And we offer this ghee lamp to Damodar. And then 2 days after, on Dvitya Tithi, there's actually the day after, and the Govardhan Puja is there. And as we know, first they were worshipping Lord Indra, the Brijbasis, Nanda Baba, but then Krishna told them, why are you worshipping Indra? Rather you should worship Giriraj and the Brahmanas and the cows. That will be much more beneficial. And then they did that. And then the next day on Dvitya Tithi, on the next day then Lord Indra as he was angry that he was not worshipped, and he forgot his position and Krishna's position, and he sent torrents of rains. And then Krishna lifted the hill that was the next day on Dvitiya Triti with a little finger of his left arm and hold it up for 7 days till Navami Titi. And then so he put him back again. So that is important festival. Govardhan Puja and Go Puja. So in Kartik there are many festivals. And Bhishma Panchak, so there's extra austerities performed, so we have more time to worship the Lord, and many times special offerings are done to the Lord during that time. In many places during Kartik or even Purushottam Mass, which is every 3rd year or every 2.5 years, then every day they have a festival for the pleasure of the Lord. Special festival they have. So the more festivals are there, that is more pleasing to Krishna, and then that is enlivening for the devotees and the pilgrims who are coming to take darshan. They are also then enlivened. Whenever, especially when you have the Shobha Yatra bringing the deities out on a palanquin, then all the visitors, they are very much enlivened by that. And as explained, most important that always these activities should be accompanied by the chanting of the holy names, the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So any questions in regards to festivals? Yes. During festival Mahabhishek, yes.
We offer dry fruits garland.
Dry fruit garlands, yes.
Can you explain that garland? I mean, the purpose of different garlands, different print of dry fruits.
Yes, the purpose of different garlands. Yeah, of course the flower garlands are there, with different flowers. And Krishna likes flowers. And usually have a nice scent. And he has a Vaijanti garland, Vaijanti flower garland, so made with 5 flowers, which are very fragrant. And even there they put usually some tulsi. Tulsi leaves with the manjaris in this Vaijanti garland also. And then sometimes the only tulsi garland, and tulsi is very dear to Krishna. And then then there are dry fruits and nuts garland you can make for the pleasure of the Lord. So that is the tradition in many of actually in all the sampradayas they have this tradition where they have nice deity worship. Especially in South India, the Sri Sampradaya are followers of Ramanujacharya, worshipping Ramchandra or Sitaram or Lakshmi Narayan. They have a very elaborate deity worship. And also there they will offer these dry fruit garlands. Because dry fruits are considered, just like when you have the offering in the morning, Naivedya, during the puja, which is the most important seva, the bathing and the dressing, then there it is the tradition that you offer fruits, dry fruits and nuts and sweets for the pleasure of the Lord. So the fruits, dry fruits, and these are foodstuffs in the mode of goodness, sattvic, and offering that, so that the Lord, He likes the fruits and He likes dry fruits, He likes nuts, and these are sattvic, most sattvic, and so that is offered during the bhoga. And then the garlands are made also with these dry fruits and nuts. Sometimes even with some fruits they may make garlands. But for the deities you cannot really have the fruit garlands, big fruit, but you have the dry fruits and nuts. But sometimes for the big deities they may have some fruits which will they use, and then they will make a garland. But even for the big deities sometimes they have dry fruit garlands. Things which are dear to the Lord, so they are put together in a garland and then they are offered to the Lord. Flowers, they are dear to the Lord, and we use them in the worship. Pushpanjali we offer, beginning, middle and end in the elaborate worship. An offering of flowers, offering our heart. And the flowers are soft, they are beautiful, they have a nice fragrance. So that is put together in a garland and offered to the Lord, which is then pleasing. Same with the dry fruits and the nuts. So they are tasty, and usually some sweetness is there. They are nourishing for the body, and so they are also put in a garland and offered to the Lord. And then some tulsi also. And well, even sometimes you have stava mala. You have heard of stava mala? Mala of stava. Stava means prayers. There's a book by Rupa Goswami known as Stava Mala. So it's a garland of prayers that is also very pleasing to the Lord. So Rupa Goswami has composed many beautiful verses, ashtakams, like Krishna Ashtakam, glorifying Krishna in 8 verses, or Radhika Ashtakam, Chaitanya Ashtakam, and many other. Stotrams are there, stavas are there, beautiful verses, one for the Lord. And so they are all put together in one book, and that is known as Stava Mala. Stava means these prayers, these different prayers, and they're put together in a book, Stava Mala, and that is then offered to the Lord. Not the book, but the prayers are offered. Of course, you may also offer the book, but then they were chanting these prayers. Therefore, when you are doing the Abhishek, for example, we chant the Brahma Samhita when we are bathing the Lord. So these prayers are there, and we are offering to the Lord. It is just like offering a garland. Or sometimes they will chant the ashtakams, different ashtakams. And that is offered to the Lord, and that is pleasing to Him. So He's satisfied by that. So we may not be able to compose our own prayers, but if we chant the prayers of the previous acharyas, then Krishna will be pleased. Oh, this devotee is chanting my dear devotees Rupa Goswami's prayers, and then you will be recognized. So different kinds of garlands are there. Flowers, tulsi garland, and then dry fruits and nuts. And sometimes even what they do in South India, they have the small shaligram. And they make a garland of small shaligram. And they will offer that to the big deity. So that is another garland of shaligram. Sometimes they have other garlands of other items, some auspicious seeds. So like lotus seed. You know the lotus seed, makhana? Sometimes they make a garland of that and offer to the Lord. That is auspicious. And there is one berry known as gunja berry. You know gunja berry? It is gunja. And then they make gunja mala. Very pleasing to the Lord. He likes that. And we always have for our deities also this gunja mala. So it is, you can, now not so many, because now, while we are supposed to be in Vrindavan, still it is there, the name, but the van, the forest is almost gone. Like there are more buildings now, it's more Vrinda city, it is like a small city, buildings are there, so many buildings. Where I live, before there were hardly any houses, next to my house there was a garden, opposite there was a garden. All around there were gardens and many peacocks and parrots. Every day in my place, my garden, there were some parrots and some peacocks. And but now, because there are many buildings, the parrots, they are flying somewhere else, outskirts, because they need the trees, not the buildings. And the peacocks also. Now you hardly see any peacocks. Sometimes here they come, because still it is a little green, but even now they are less. I hardly see any peacocks here or parrots. Still they come, but rarely. But before, every day you could see here the parrots and peacocks. Every day. And so the Gunja is there. Even in my garden one time, somehow a Gunja bush was there. It is a kind of bush, and they are just like the beans, there's the peas are there. It is a kind of bean, and then you open it and you have the peas. But then you have a similar kind of bean is there, and you open that and you have a small, and just like a pea but smaller than that. And it is either red or red and white or red and white and black. So these three colors are there. And when they're fresh, you take them, you make a garland, and then they become hard. And then you can offer that garland to Krishna. It's very pleasing to him. Even Mahaprabhu, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he got one Govardhan Chila, one devotee gave him, and one Gunjamala. Actually, in the translation there's a mistake. Somehow, most probably, those who are transcribing the Chaitanya Charitamrita, they didn't clearly understand Prabhupada. It is mentioned as small conch shells, but it is wrong. Gunja is not small conch shell, but these are the small berries which are there. And then you make a garland, and this is very pleasing to Krishna. So when he got this Giriraj Chila and the Gunjamala, and then he gave that to Raghunath Das Goswami and told him, so you take this Giriraj, you worship him just like Krishna in the temple. He's Sakshat Brajendra Nandan. He's directly Brajendra Nandan, Shyamasundar Krishna Gopinath. And you take the Gunjamala and you offer. That is representing Radharani. Because Krishna is never alone, always is there with Radharani. Krishna is embracing Radharani, or Radharani is embracing Krishna. So the Gunjamala is representing Radharani, so he likes to wear that, because he likes to be embraced by Radharani. So in this way, different garlands are there, with items pleasing to Krishna. And therefore Krishna also, he has a yellow dhoti. Why he has a yellow dhoti and chadar? Why? You know? Because it is Radharani's color. So he cannot always be with Radharani, but he has the dhoti and the chadar, so he remembers Radharani. And Radharani's dress? Blue. It is blue, because she wants to be embraced by Krishna. And you know the color of Krishna's eyes? Kanaka Jalada Gatro Nila Sonabjanetro. Nila Sonabjanetro. Krishna's eyes, they are a little red, golden red. Of course, the inner part is also blackish, but the outside is golden red, just like Radharani, Gaurangi. And Radharani's eyes, bluish. Why? Because it is Krishna's color. So she's looking at Krishna always. Krishna is in Radharani's eyes, on her tongue, in her ears, in her heart. And similarly, Radharani is in Krishna's eyes, in his ears, and he's saying Radhe, Radhe. And then if some devotee is saying Radhe, Radhe, then Krishna is running after that person. Although in ISKCON it is said you should not say Radhe, Radhe. But there's a verse which is mentioning that if you say Radha, Krishna is hearing and is running after that person. Oh, he's saying Radharani's name. I have to go behind the devotee. He's very dear to Radharani, calling out to Radharani. So in this way, but he's dear to Krishna, that is then offered to Krishna. So, yeah, okay, so that is for the garland. Yeah.
You said Panchamrit.
Panchamrit, yes.
Contains this jaggery water.
Jaggery water, yes.
And
milk, first milk, then yogurt, then ghee, which are items from the cow, and then honey, madhu, shahad, and then afterwards sweet water, jaggery or brown sugar or khand. Yes.
I want to ask, like when we offer artik to the Lord, we have this.
When you offer artik to the Lord, yes.
We have this number 74237.
4237, yes.
So what are the meanings of this number?
What are the meaning of the numbers? Yeah. Yeah. So, well, the thing is that we are doing some arctic, so we have to be a little bit fixed, especially in the temple worship. So for that reason, they have certain numbers. And we are following that. Because when you do the temple worship, you should be regulated. At 4:30, as we explained, the arctic has to start, and the arctic should be 25 minutes. So if you're doing, for example, and there are 3 pujaris, so you have to do the same thing. So you have to fix the numbers, right? Otherwise one is doing 20 times with the incense, and the other one is doing 5 times, then it will not work.
But there is any esoteric meaning behind the 7 number?
Some numbers are auspicious, considered auspicious. And of course, if Krishna is in the center, everything is auspicious. But still, like for example, you have Ashtakam, Radhika Ashtakam, whatever, 8 verses, because for the Ashtakams, 8 is a good number. Or you have a Dashakam, Govardhan Vasa Dashakam, 10 verses in glorification of. So usually for prayers, you have 8 or 10, or 108 names of Krishna, 108 names of Radharani. So these are auspicious numbers. And then, for example, we chant rounds, so we chant 16, should be the minimum. But even if you cannot chant 16, and that is mentioned, then you chant 4. That is like 1 knot. Before they were making sometimes a knot to count when they didn't have the beads to count. So 4 is good, or 8, or 12, or 16, then 20, 24, 32, 64, like that. So these certain numbers are there for offering prayers, for chanting japa. And then, for example, foodstuffs. You offer usually, for example, you have sweets. You never offer 1 sweet to the Lord, because 1 is like nothing. Even if you have a guest, usually not so. Of course, if you are here, I'm distributing just 1 sweet for practical reason, because I cannot have so many, and so we just give 1 sweet or half a sweet. But usually, if you have a guest coming to your place or for the Lord, you're not offering only 1 sweet. That is not considered nice. Then you have to offer 2, at least 2. But also, you don't offer 3 sweets. That is not good. It is mentioned in scriptures, if you want to show somebody that is your enemy, in the Vedic culture it was there amongst the Kshatriyas, they were offering 3 sweets. So never offer 3 sweets to the Lord or to anybody. So sometimes in some places in ISKCON, even in Europe, one time I was there, they were offering 3 sweets. Then I told them also, you cannot offer 3 sweets. That is not proper according to the scriptures. You offer 2 or 4. And even for chapatis, 2 or 4 when you offer. So similarly with the incense, somehow with the incense they have uneven numbers. You offer 1, you offer 3, you offer 5, you offer 7. Also with the ghee wicks, you offer 1, you offer 3, you offer 5, you offer 7, you offer 11, 21, 51, 101. Sometimes like for Yamuna Devi, they have a big, big lamp. So usually they have like 51, or maybe even they have 101. So some differentiation is made here. And so similarly, so for foodstuffs, 2 or 4, for incense, which you burn, 1, 3 or 5, like that. And similarly for offering these articles, so usually the main is, for example, the whole body. So then you offer like 7 times usually. But if you do sometimes, let's say you do the main deities, then you do the small deities, then you may just offer 3 times, like that. And even parikrama of the temple, well, usually it is recommended 3, but what is it?
Like locals, they usually do 4 times parikrama.
Sometimes they do 4, yeah. 3 or 4, yeah. Or sometimes they do 7. Like it is mentioned, you do parikrama of a Govardhan Shilaf 7 times, that is equal to one big Govardhan parikrama. So, but the main thing is actually not the numbers, but the main thing is actually the love. That is most important. Yeah, that we should understand. But just because we have to have some kind of system to be regulated, also some numbers are given. Especially in the temple worship, you have to be regulated, and you have to have, then everyone has to follow a certain standard. So I have to write something down. So then they decided to make such a standard. Like you have for 2 sweets, or you have for 4 sweets, you have for 7 circles, or like that. So something is given like that. You do Achman 3 times, but if you offer to the feet, then you offer 2 times, because there are 2 feet. And so similarly, somehow it is a Lankar, you have for the feet 4, and then for the navel 2, and then the whole body 7. So they have given a certain numbers they have given, and we try to follow that. But yeah, so.
And Bhishma Panchak, when we break
Bhishma Panchak, when you break
it,
it, yes.
we have to honor the Brahmanas.
You have to honor the Brahmanas, yes.
And then what Shalam do, what we actually give them.
What do you give to the Brahmanas?
Something which we actually keep the fast on? Or
Yes, yes. First of all, like let's say, for example, any fast, let's say Kadashi, you're not taking any grains, rice or dal. Then the next day, according to tradition, actually you should distribute some rice and dal to some brahmanas. Therefore you can see even here in Braj, on every Dwadashi, you will see the beggars, the sadhus, they go to the different houses to beg. And then they will get rice, dal, and atta from the householders. Because they were fasting from these things, they know they have to give this in charity. So Bhishma Panchak also, whatever you are fasting from, that you can give to Brahmana. But then you can also give whatever you like. There's no harm. Yeah. You can give some cloth. Usually if you give to a Brahmana something, you give some cloth. If you're a rich person, you give some gold coin. Or if you're not so rich, you give silver coins. If you're also not so rich, then you just give some rupees. So, but something is given, or then some fruits you can give. But usually cloth is given to a Brahmana. But then also this item from which you were fasting. And sometimes a mirror is given, because usually during Chaturmas or Kartik Mas, the sadhus are not shaving. They're not using the mirror to shave. So then they will give also a mirror. Sometimes they will give an umbrella also. And that is because it is a kind of shelter, the umbrella. So you need a help. We need some shelter. So the Brahmanas, they can give shelter. So you give them an umbrella. Then you are sheltered by them also. From the heat, from the cold, from different kinds of sufferings. Yeah, from Maya, you're sheltered from Maya, yes. So that is there. Okay? Yes.
Can we have fruits and milk in the pujari dress?
If you can have fruits and milk in pujari dress, now when you're worshipping the deities, you should not eat anything. The only when, for example, it is Dwadashi, and if you break your fast, you have to break your fast. And let's say the break fast is from 6 o'clock till 6:50. And then you have to do puja, but somehow you have to break your fast. Then you can take 1 grain and then you do achman. But otherwise you don't eat anything. Not even fruits, nothing, except water. You can take water, you can take chanamrit, or you can take 1 grain for breaking the fast. Not that you take 1 whole piece of cake and... No, that is not allowed. Okay? Yes.
In the house, did you say?
At home, deity worship, yes.
Suppose we are going on the day like that, we come very late,
Yes.
so that time we can give rest for deities very early, it's okay, or
No, it's better when you come back.
suppose we come back very later, like 11:30, something like that.
Yes.
Sometime it will happen. So
Yes.
what we do?
Well, we should do bhav seva. Bhav means with a certain mood. And what is our mood is Braj Bhav. Like the pastimes of Krishna and Radharani. They are late up till 1 o'clock. Then they will take rest. Even Mahaprabhu is not sleeping at 6 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock. But he will sleep late. So you may do like that. But of course, you have to be practical. And if, let's say, you're going somewhere and you know that you know be clean after, so then you may put the deities to rest also. So you have to see time, place and circumstances also. Desha Kala Patra. And use your intelligence and pray to the Lord that you can do the seva properly. But generally the Lord is not taking rest too early. Only because we have to sleep, so we have to put the deities to rest a little early. So if somebody is taking rest early and getting up early, then he will put to rest the deities early, and then he will get up early. And then he will wake up the deities early. Okay? Yes. If you're going outside for 2-3 days. Yes, 1 week. Yes, then? You can sleep the deities? Put them to rest? Well, you're married? You're married? You have children? Acha. But you know somebody who has children? Yes? So if they're going away and they cannot take the children, you will put them to rest? Okay, you take rest for 7 days. See you after 1 week. What will happen? After 1 day, the child will cry. And if nobody is around, what will happen? He will die. Of course, Krishna is not dying, but he wants the love of the devotee. And putting the deity to rest, it is... then what is the relationship then with the deity? Where is the love? No, you should take the deities with you if you're going somewhere. If you cannot, you should give to somebody who can take care. Or you should have somebody to come to your place to take care of the deities. Because the seva to the deity should never stop. That should never stop. And the Krishna's pastimes are always going on. As we explain, Nitya Seva according to Nitya Lila. Nitya Seva means eternally, means daily the seva should go on. So we should not put the deities to rest. But we should do the seva. If you can take with you, that is best. If not, then you give to somebody to take care. Okay? If you cannot cook at home. Yeah, if you are busy and you cannot cook, then you just have an offering in the morning. You offer some dry fruits, some nuts, some milk, or even just dry fruits and nuts and fruits. Then you may do sometimes. If you are busy, you have to go somewhere. Okay? Yeah. Yes.
You said that there is Navaratna Abhishek.
Navaratna, yes.
Stones.
Yes.
Can you maybe elaborate?
Elaborate 9 kinds of stones?
How you
Yeah,
do
we
that?
put them inside the water. The stones we put in the water. And then we bathe the deities with these stones. But you just have to make sure that the stones are not coming out when you're bathing the deities and falling on the deities. Okay? Yes. How you offer Achman? Yes. Well, for example, you have the Achman Patra, and then you show to the hand of the Lord so he can do Achman. The water you can leave. In elaborate worship there's one patra, Visarjan patra, throw out pot, where you put the things which you are not really using. So In some places they will do like that the achman water, because it is a little strong, that is not mixed with the chanamrit. But actually even if it is mixed, it is not a big problem. Because something to purify the mouth, and it is not harmful. But let's say, but in many places they will offer to the Lord and put in the Visarjan patra, throw out pot. And even if you have some flowers, you offer, then you put in that pot.
And the same with the water, sprinkling the heads.
Yes.
Achman.
Yeah. The argya. That is known as argya. You offer to the hand so they can sprinkle on themselves.
And then you offer water for foot wash.
For foot wash. Yeah, you're washing the feet. So you put, in the snan patra, you actually put on the feet the water. That is padya, foot wash. Washing the deity's feet. Practically, really. Okay? Yes.
So Samanya Argya and Vishesh Argya, how to do that?
Samanyaga Vishesh Argya. Samanya means just ordinary Argya, as explained. We just offer to the hand. So in simple worship it is just water. A little more elaborate, then it is you put some milk, a little milk, some rice, and some white sesame seeds, and some tulsi and flower petal, and duva grass also, and so that may be offered. No, that is still just elaborate, but Vishesha Argya you put in the conch shell, and then inside there you put these items also, and you worship the conch shell, you worship the conch shell stand, and even you worship the Lord inside the water. You worship the Lord inside the water. That becomes potent, and that is Vishesh Argya, and that you will use to offer to the Lord.
The water that we use for Achman flowers.
Yes.
So that is just normal water with the rivers invoked in that.
And the Achman for the Lord?
No,
For ourselves, yes.
so water with the rivers invoked.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And from what are the different mudras which are very much required?
Very much required in the deity worship. The mudras are very few. Basic this one, pranam mantra, pranam mudra, with love and affection. You fold your hands and you concentrate, and then you show the deities to go from one place to another place. So the other mudras, like for purifying the foodstuffs, that is not so important. You may do, but it's not that you have to do. Prabhupada never did. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada never did. That is not absolutely required. गौरचंद्र ये काशीराज को फ़ोन करना है, काशीराज उनका नंबर है, तो उनको ये मिठाई ले आने के लिए बोला, और आलू बोंदा फ़ोन कीजिए, भोग लगाना है यहाँ. क्या? अच्छा ठीक है, लेकिन आलू बोंदा जो है और मिठाई फ़ोन कीजिए उनको. और माला लेकर आया है साजन, कहाँ है? Okay, and it's a little late, but we needed a few. We have tulsi leaves here. We have tulsi. You check, yeah. And actually, we needed some leaves of the ashok tree.
We'll get from
Yeah, if you can, and some grass, a little grass, and just a few leaves quickly because it's getting late. And yes.
In some emergency situation when we are outside, we need to eat something.
You eat, when you eat, you have to eat something when you're outside. Well, if you're outside, so best you can take something. Well, you can take fruits, dry fruits, nuts. You don't have tulsi leaf? No, then you just offer in your mind. You offer the Krishna in your heart. You just mentally offer. That you can do also. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, even just you mentally offer the fruits. You see, yeah, tulsi is offered when we do the normal worship for the deities, that is required, that is mentioned in the scriptures. But actually in Golok Vrindavan, for example, when they are at Radhakund, Radha and Krishna, then they will offer something to Krishna, the gopis. It's not they will go to Tulsi and then pray to Tulsi and pick the Tulsi leaf and put in the offering and give to Krishna. They will prepare something and give to Krishna without Tulsi. But when we're doing in the temple, and some Aishwarya has to be there, some opulence is there, own reverence is there, then you have to put Tulsi, that is required. But in the Bhav Seva, if you put Tulsi or not put, you don't put, it doesn't matter.
And second, can we give Krishna to drink cow urine also?
Krishna, no, he's not drinking cow urine. No, he's not sick, and it's not that he likes the cow milk, not the cow urine. He's not drinking cow urine. This is not for drinking cow urine. If you're sick, then you can take. It's good for the liver, but it's not that you make a special drink with cow urine. It's not for drinking. So it's only for bathing. It is auspicious, but not for drinking. Yes.
Sometimes temple, outside people they give some sweets.
Sometimes outside people they give some sweet.
By their home or they purchase some sweets.
Yes.
It's offered to Lord, it's okay or not? By the pack.
Oh, if it is from outside. Yes.
They purchase from shops.
Then you can just put on the table in front, but you don't have to do a special offering. Because we don't know who cooked it and how clean it is. So we just show to the Lord, but we don't have to do an offering. You show, and the Lord, He may just see, He may just glance at the offering.
Because the birthday or something you want give to the people like
Yes.
the neophyte. So
Yeah, yes. Yeah, we can put on the altar, but usually we don't do that we offer properly. We just put it there and the Lord can glance at it. If He likes it, He will take. If not, He will not take. But we don't know, so we don't offer. But if we know, if it is like, for example, our bakery, they will boga sweets, then we can offer. Because we know devotees have done, devotees, and then that is clean. Yes.
How do we offer that offering at that time?
At that time, we sprinkle some water. Still, we have to sprinkle water for purification. And then we chant the Mula mantra, the deity's mantra. Yeah, Idam Naivedyam, and the Mula mantra, Klim Krishnai Namaha. You can chant 8 times over the boga. And then you say Idam Naivedyam, Klim Krishnai Namaha. Okay? Yes.
When you offer fruits, is it important the number, how many fruits?
Fruits?
Yes. You cannot offer 3, is the same like with the sweets.
Yeah. If you have, for example, bananas, you don't offer 3 bananas. You offer 2 or 4. Okay? Same. Yes. For the home puja. What are the basic items? For the puja. Yes. Yes, same as in the temple. Same. You have padya, you have argya. If you can do that, that is best. If not, then you just offer chandan. Even in the winter you don't have to do, but then you offer flowers, you offer incense, you offer ghee lamp, and you offer some boga sweet. Okay?
It's evening time, can we take that Ashokata time as we can break?
Evening time usually we don't take, but you just look if something is on the floor or something has fallen. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, we take these leaves from behind here. Some of these leaves here.
Okay. So in summers we offer chandan.
Yeah, in summer we offer chandan. Yes,
So sandalwood paste.
sandalwood paste. Yes,
What is the proper way of offering?
proper way
Yes, of offering like
on the feet of the Lord. Yeah. When it is very hot, you can put a little bit here on the forehead, or even on the body, a little bit, and then on the feet. If it is not hot, then you put on your feet. If it is cold, then you don't have to put. Yes. If you? Put it all the time or? Yes, you can offer tulsi with chandan, yes. Yes. During the puja you can do that. Yeah. Or even in the winter. Now if it is very cold, then usually we avoid chandan. Then we can just offer tulsi. When you plug the tulsi, well usually you plug the anything from the trees or the bushes, that is usually during the daytime. Usually. After sunrise and before sunset. But if you have, for example, if you are worshipping tulsi on the altar and you have tulsi in your house and you are waking up the deities, then you are waking up tulsi. And then we don't consider that she is sleeping because we are worshipping her. At that time you may also take the leaves of Tulsi Devi. Because she is not an ordinary plant and that she is sleeping so much. So she is up. When the deities are up, then Tulsi is up. And then we worship her, we don't worship a sleeping plant. She is up at that time. Okay? Yes? During Ekadashi, no, you can give water. But you don't pick the leaves on Dvadashi. You don't pick on Dvadashi, that is mentioned in the scriptures. On the Ekadashi you can pick the flowers, but not on Dvadashi.
Is it on Dwadashi and Sundays also? Or just
No, usually Dvadashi. Dvadashi, yeah.
And Prabhuji, when we plug the flowers, we, in order to offer to Lord, we sprinkle some water, and what mantra we should recite to purify that flower?
Yeah, you can sprinkle it with water, then the flower is purified. And there is one mantra also, Pushpe Pushpe Mahapushpe, that is mentioned in the book also. You may chant that also.
And when we plug the tulsi leaves, we can wash with water and then offer.
Yeah, you can wash with water. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes?
In the winter, you're saying that we're not using chandan.
In the winter we are not using chandar.
When we are decorating like Vidraji and Shalatranshi,
Yes.
we use chandan. So that is allowed.
Well, if it is very cold, then usually we don't, but some devotees, they still want to offer because they want to offer every day. But then you just use a very little bit.
Do you use kapoor or without?
A kapoor, the camphor you use only in the summer because that is cooling. In the winter you can put some saffron, then it is little heating, then you can use.
But no camphor.
No camphor in the winter, no, because it is cooling. Okay? Yes.
How many flowers we put in arati plate?
How many flowers in attic plates? As many as possible. As many as possible. If you have a small plate, then you put as many as possible. But with flowers, if you like in the West, you don't have, it is very expensive, the flowers, very expensive. Then they are counting the flowers, how many to use in the garland, how many to use in attic. There, if you don't have many flowers, you can just offer one, or two, or three. There is no for the flowers no regulation. You can offer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as you like, no problem. Okay?
Why in temple offering camphor lamp before ghee lamp? Offering
Camphor, that is a noon time, you offer camphor lamp. That is because the noon time artik, that is the biggest artik. So camphor lamp is one lamp, and then we have the ghee lamp, that is another lamp. Camphor is auspicious also. So that is offered separately. That is second. Huh? Yeah, to some extent, yeah. And the smell is nice if it is natural. But of course, if you use a lot of camphor, It may be purifying the atmosphere, but it makes also the wall black and the ceiling. So you have to be careful not to use too much. Otherwise you have a black ceiling. Yes?
What's the significance of putting a flower inside the ghee lamp?
Ghee lamp. What is the significance of putting the flower in the ghee lamp? Our flowers are very pleasing to the Lord, auspicious. So it is just more opulent, or it is more elaborate if you have the ghee lamp and then you have a flower inside. You don't have to, but it looks nice. And
So usually they always have one
yes,
space for that. So
there's a space. Yes, yeah. Like even you put flowers whenever you offer something to the Lord, like the water, or in the Achman Patra, you always have some flower petals also. It gives a nice fragrance, and flowers are beautiful, they're pleasing. That is offered. Yes?
How do we actually offer itras during dressing of the deities so that they may...
The scent. Yeah. Well, before the dressing, you may use a little scent. You may put here so you can smell, or you put here on the right hand of the Lord, on the left. Or you can put a little bit on the body.
When we open the doors of the altar, then that fragrance comes out. What that will we spray in the atmosphere, or we...
Yeah, that is sometimes you have some spray with some scented perfume, and that we spray, and that is coming out, that scent. Yeah. No. Yes. When? Before the bath, we apply oil on the deity. Just like even ourselves, we put oil on our body, and then we have to take bath. That is a rule. So similarly for the Lord, you apply oil and then you will give bath to the Lord. Okay? What's that? You already mentioned the oil. Yes. Sugandha Tailam, yeah. But then sometimes, just like after Mangalartik, we offer some oil. Even in elaborate worship, sometimes when you have offered everything, at the end also still you give a little bit of oil to the Lord to smell. In elaborate worship. Okay, so.
They're using like cotton sometimes.
Cotton, yeah, we have cotton. Then we put inside the oil, yes. Okay, yes. What is this? This and this? These are known as mudras. Mudras, yeah. Well, that is in elaborate worship, or if you worship Narayan or Vishnu, he likes that, opulence and different mudras. So that is there. There's, for example, Matsya Mudra, and then there's a Chakra Mudra, and then there's a Denu, cow, different mudras are there. But when we worship Radha and Krishna, when we worship Gopinath, we don't have to do that. No need. And there are other mudras there, like the gopis, with the sidelong glances, or when they are dancing. But that is different. But these mudras in deity worship you don't have to use. And there's one book by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Rag Vatma Chandrika. This book is explaining about Raganuga Bhakti. And there he has explained that when you worship Krishna in Braj Bhav, you don't use these mudras. Should not be used. Only those in the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. Just like you don't put the stamp here, like some do in the Sri Sampradaya, of the conch or the chakra, that you don't put. And also we don't do these mudras elaborate. Okay? Yeah. Shaligram? Well, Shaligram depends on how you worship Shaligram, but when we see Shaligram, as Gaudiya Vaishnava, we see Brajendra Nandan Shyamasundar. Always. Or even, for example, Purusha Sukta is there. So that is addressing the universal form, which you may use in Shaligram worship. But that we don't use when we worship as Krishna. Only in elaborate worship, when the deities are installed, special occasions, then the Purusha Sukta is chanted, but rarely. Okay, so we wanted to do also Adivas Puja. And yeah, okay. Yeah. So, our last question.
Just wondering, what was the name of that book by Vishwanath Chakravarti?
The book by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Rag Vartma Chandrika. Vartma Chandrika. Vartma is the path of rag, of spontaneous love, of spontaneous devotional service. Chandrika is the moonlight, the moonbeam, the rays of the moon, which is which is giving light. Okay? Okay, so we can do a small Adivas Puja, and yes, and then we'll offer some bhoga, and then we'll distribute some prasad, and those who want a certificate, then we'll just see how much you know, and then we'll tell you what you should know, and then we'll give you a certificate. So we can have some kirtan for 5 minutes. Okay, who is a kirtan leader here?